So a lot of times what we hear is, I'm the only Democrat on my street. We hear that a lot. And maybe there's a few in my village, but they don't live near me. And so when I go to the driveway parties or the neighborhood parties, I just have to bite my tongue, not to just get in a fight with somebody that's saying something stupid. Yep. So, the other thing that we hear is that it's so red here, why should I bother to vote? Doesn't make a bit of difference. So, there's a group of us that decided we would address those two issues. Let people know who their Democratic neighbors are, because we're quiet and polite, and so we don't always have hateful signs in our yard, and to let you know why it matters that you vote. So some of you may know Lydia Bush and Ann Berg, they're on this group, and Kim Russell. And the four of us have put this together with a lot of input from different people. So the neighborhood links is to try to get neighbors together. So if you become a neighborhood link and you say, I like 5 people, we'll give you 5 names. You want 20 people, we'll give you 20 names. You know, whatever you want. And we have put together all of the materials that you need. We have put together talking points, videos. You'll see a little bit of the stuff that we're doing with them today. So it's just getting Democrats together and getting them informed. So one of the things that we want people to do is to feel good about being a Democrat. Democrats want everybody to be have a positive future. They want people to have good health care. They want people to have a good public education. They care about wages. They care about jobs. They care about family. We need to be proud of what our party stands for. And it's no more evident than if you look at what the, if you look at what the Biden administration has been able to do. Look at NATO and look where we would be in Ukraine if we didn't have Joe Biden up there in the White House. We are working with our allies to do everything we can for that horrible situation. Look at, how about Ketanji Jackson Brown? Makes me cry when I saw her say, I am the dream and the hope of the slaves. And she's brilliant. This is what Democrats stand for. Look at rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. Our weather is getting worse, and that's what Democrats have done. We are vaccinated. There may be another variant of COVID, but if you're vaccinated, the effects are not going to be that bad. So they care about the health of the Americans. And the American Rescue Plan really helped struggling families during COVID try to get back, or at least survive. And that is really important to think about. We would not be where we are today in the economy and in this country if we didn't have an American Rescue Plan to try to help families. If you look at and I just would like to remind you that for the American Rescue Plan, no Republicans voted for it. Just one little quick thing I will tell you, that part of it was to help schools so that they could open them back up. So our lovely governor sent every teacher a check that he signed, mailed it to them for $1,000. The money came from the American Rescue Plan, but it looked like it came from him. So in Sumter County, we wrote every teacher and thanked them for everything they had done during COVID to help educate the kids and create a safe learning environment. And we were so glad they got the $1,000 made possible by the American Rescue Plan, supported only by Democrats. He is not going to take credit for the things that we're doing. No. The transportation bill does so much. It will take a few years for us to see the results of that. No Republican Florida senators or our lovely Webster congressman voted for it. But they will be there at every ribbon cutting, you can better believe it. And we're going to call them out. We're not going to let them take credit for it. The unemployment rate is down. When we wrote this, it was 3.9. It's 3.6 now. People have jobs. And so they've gone back to work. In the previous administration, they've lost 2.9 million jobs. The Biden administration has created over 7 million. So they're trying to get people back to work, and they're trying to improve their lives. So, be proud of being a Democrat. Yes. Democrats believe in justice. They believe in economic, social, environmental, and democratic justice. And here are just a couple of examples. Civil rights. We believe that everybody should get a fair treatment. That includes minorities. That includes LGBT, people with disabilities, different religions. Everybody deserves the same treatment. Voting rights. There is nothing more that divides us more in what we believe than voting rights. Democrats believe that everybody should be able to vote. It should be safe and it should be easy. Republicans say, well, we want some people to vote, but some people we want to make it a little bit harder. In 2020, Democrats voted by mail. So what is the legislation? Making voting by mail harder. Well, we're going to beat them because we're going to get everybody to vote by mail, and we're going to make sure that those votes count. So, Democrats fight for justice, and we cannot forget that. Medicare and Social Security. One of our senators, Senator Scott, put together a platform which you may have seen if the Republicans take over the Senate. And one of them is that every piece of federal legislation will expire in 5 years. Everything. And you have to revote. And they're so good at that. So, think about if this was the 5th year and Medicare would need to be voted on, but they just didn't have time. Yeah. Social Security, look at Sumter County and the villages and think about all the people that depend on Social Security and Medicare. We can't have that platform. And they have no problem giving a tax relief to the wealthy or corporations. So our thought is we don't need more taxes. We need better priorities. And they have the wrong ones. So Democrats fight for seniors. And it's very important to get that message out in a community like ours. So how many of you were here in 2018 to vote? On that phone. Okay. So over 8 million Democrats voted that year. The turnout was very good, but we had our lovely DeSantis, who barely beat Gilmore by 32,000 votes. Out of 8 million, it's hard to get any closer than that. Well, Scott beat the Nelson in the Senate by less, by 10,000 votes, out of 8 million. Where, it sounds like somebody else would have said this, where could we have found 32,000 more votes? Well, I'll give you a group that maybe we could have gone to look at. In 2018, over 1.7 million Floridian Democrats did not vote. We need to find out why, and we need to motivate them and get them to vote. Now, of that group, some people could have moved, and the voter rolls are not up to date that day. It could be that some people died. I mean, there's several reasons that people didn't vote. But all we had to do is find 2% of that group. So I wonder if any of them lived in Sumter. I know some of you all from Lake, and this is Sumter, but I'm sure there's some in Lake County that didn't vote. In Sumter County, which we had about 22,000 Democrats that year, almost 6,000 did not vote. We can't have that. We cannot leave those votes. So we need to get out, and we are doing grassroots with all the voters that we can to get them to vote. Okay, so this is just one of the videos that's part of this program.
You may be asking yourself, why bother to vote this year? What difference would my vote make? History may tell you why. In the 2018 election, over 8 million votes were cast in Florida. The governor's race was won by 32,463 votes. The Senate race was won by 10,033 votes. And the Commissioner of Agriculture was won by only 6,753 votes. All three of these elections were won by less than 1%. Do your part. Vote in November, because your vote could be part of the difference that elects Democrats.
So somebody was asking me about this program. This has been shared with other counties. They've just dubbed their logo on it and hopefully would replace that gritty voice. Okay, so we want people to be able to find some of the information that we are sharing with people. We've got brochures, we've got that video, we've got all kinds of information. So we have put it on our website, which we updated a few months ago. So if you go to SumterFLDemocrats.com, and there's our new look at our webpage. And if you scroll down, you'll see the word latest news. And underneath that, you'll see neighborhood links. So as we roll out different things, we're going to put it right here. Here's the Get a Grip. I brought some examples. This is the Get a Grip card that we are passing out that says some of the stuff about be proud to be a Democrat. Don't be shy. Okay. Some people want to update their voter registration. They say in the villages you move 3 times. I talked to somebody the other day that this was their 4th house. Over the average. So, if you are going to change your name, you get married, you get divorced, you decide you don't like your name, you're going to change it. So, if you do it legally, you must do it on a voter registration form. If you change your party, so you have decided that you changed your party to vote in the 2018 primary, now you've got to change it back, you have to do it on a voter registration form. To update your signature has to be on a voter registration form. If you change your address because you moved, you can call them, write them, go over to their office and do it. It's your mailing address or your voting address. You can change in person. You don't have to do it on the form, but you can. So here's an example of people updating their voter registration form. This one, let me see if this works. If you look right up here, she has marked that she's, and that's hard to see, updated her voter registration form. Okay, so here's her name, her birth date. So over here, she's marked Republican. I've marked out the signature, and there's the date. You see these red numbers up here? That is where Sumter County received it and logged it in. So I'm voter protection, and this woman called, and she said, I got this letter from the supervisor of elections I don't understand. So she brought it in and we met, and it said that there was information they couldn't verify on her voter registration form, and she was confused. Long story short, and after quite a bit of back and forth with the supervisor of election, here was the problem. The date, her birth date was 1975, and if you'd met her, you would say, I don't think so. She was born in 1943. She did not fill out this form. Somebody else did. Here's another one. This woman's name is Sharon. Again, this is a bad copy, but she marked, wanted to update, name, birthday, blah, 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 address, here's her signature, she's a Democrat. So, she goes to vote. This is 2020. She goes up, they say, you're not registered to vote. She says, yes, I am. No, you're not. You are not registered to vote. She couldn't vote. She lived in Citrus County. Look at this. This voter registration form has her address in Webster in Sumter County. She has never lived in Sumter County. Somebody else filled out this form and sent it in. Groups like the Sumter County Democrats can be a third-party voter registration organization. You register with the state, you get a special number, and you put it on the back of every voter registration form that you have somebody fill out. You're responsible for sending that in. This was an organization called Florida First. They changed people's parties, they changed people's address. I had one couple that were British citizens, they were snowbirds, they filled out applications for them. And they weren't even American citizens. These were just two examples, and I did ask both of them if I could show you all these forms. And they said anything that gets the word out. The woman that did these was arrested. I've never been able to find out what her, if she was convicted, I'm sure she was, but if it was a slap on the hand or what. So it is important that you check your voter registration of what the supervisor of elections has. Because it happened in Sumter, it happened in Lake, those are local counties, but other counties in 2020. It's already happened in Miami, Hillsborough, and Duval. There's already an investigation there. So if you go to the Supervisor of Elections website, which is elections.sumtercountyfl.gov, or just search Sumter County Supervisor of Elections and it's coming out of Sumter. You'll come up and this is their web page, and you'll click on voter lookup, and that's where you go in and you check your voter registration. Because it's important that you know that somebody hasn't changed your information. Those people will be arrested that have done this, but you want to catch it because you don't want to be like Sharon to go and vote and you're told you can't. And she quit. She's called the FBI. She is furious still to this day. So this is just a little bit about updating your voter registration.
Is your voter information correct? If not, you may not be able to vote. Some Democrats in Miami recently found out that someone changed them to Republicans without their knowledge. Another form of voter suppression. You can check your voter information by going to elections.sumtercountyfl.gov. When you go to this website, click on Voter Lookup at the top of the page. You will then enter your information, check that you're not a robot, and click Submit. Make sure that this is your correct name at the top of the information. Is this your party, or has someone changed it without your knowledge? Are you an active voter? Will you receive a mail ballot in 2022? Your resident address determines where you vote on Election Day. If your mailing address is incorrect, you are in danger of being purged from the voter rolls. You can update your information by going to elections.sumtercountyfl.gov, click on Voters, and then click on Update My Voter Information. If you have any questions, need help, or if your information was changed without your knowledge, please contact the Sumter County Democratic Party. We are here to support and help you because we want to be sure every voter can vote.
So this just gives you a little idea of what the neighborhood links is about. You will have, if you decide to do it, and there's several people in here that are to do it, we have information sessions and we go over all of the material. We have handouts, we have activities, we have the video, we have open-ended questions where you can have a discussion with your neighbors, but then you have the cheat sheet because you know the answers. Because we want to get the information out, but we also want Democrats to know their neighbors and feel good about being a Democrat. You have a question?
No, I just wanted to say that I am a Democratic link in my neighborhood, and people are welcoming me with open arms. Some of them are so, I thought somebody was going to kiss me the other day. And I kind of start with, I want you to know you're not alone. And they don't know how many people in the neighborhood, and so I tell them we've got a lot of people on this street. You just don't know because we're we've been intimidated by our neighbors. Yeah.
Yes.
These wonderful videos that you've produced, is there some way to get them on everywhere, like on Fox News? On Twitter and on Facebook, and they're perfect ads.
Yeah.
They just are wonderful.
Well, some of them just relate to Florida and some of them just to Sumter County, but we have sent them to other counties that are adapting them to their counties, and we're going to put them on our webpage. We can also put them on our Facebook and also Twitter, but I don't think Instagram, to try to get it out. Dee?
Can you make them shareable when you post them on the Facebook page so we can all?
Somebody can. Somebody can. And so, the first activity is to take, we have a little bag of information to give to all your Democratic neighbors. So we want you to meet them, and then it's just a door hanging bag with some information. And then in May, you talk about why bother to vote, and we have a lot of information about the 2018 election, what Democrats stand for, what Republicans stand for. That's the theme. And then the next theme is checking your voter registration and why all that is important. And then the next one will be the primary, once we know who's going to be on the primary ballot and how to vote. And then the last one will be the general election and all the issues there. So we're just trying to get everybody informed. If you would like to be a link, I'll leave a little information flyer in the back on that table, and you can pick it up. We're having more set. There's one this afternoon, and then we're having them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this coming week. So just because more people have decided that they want to do it. It's fun. Jeannie?
You also ought to share how many people are neighborhood linkers.
About 100. We have close to 100 with the people that have been signing up since the last group that we did. So and we have some links that are coming back saying, I want some more people. Or I have a neighbor and they're a Democrat and I want to include them. So the more the merrier. And some people have no party affiliate neighbors that they know are really Democrats deep down. Just invite them. Anybody that follows us, Shirley?
So, no judgment here, but I don't vote in Sumter County.
Right.
And so I vote in Florida, but, so I'm not on the rolls in Sumter County, but I want to be part of this. How do I do that? The neighborhood thing. I don't want to be a leader.
No, but we have to find out if there's a leader in your area. And if the leader knows that you vote in another county, but you're a Democrat, because we're not going to catch you in the list that we pulled.
Right, exactly. So how do I
We'll have to find out if there's a link in your
okay,
area.
all right, I'll contact.
I've got a couple of neighbors that are no party affiliates, and they're the biggest Democrats. They help me with some of the stuff I'm doing. I'm like, why don't you just change to Democrats? You are a Democrat. Yes.
Do you have a copy of the cheat sheet? And I had something I maybe would be like to also address in that, and that is one of the objections I get to, Democrats and Biden all the time when I go to cocktail parties and whatever is inflation. He's caused inflation.
Susie Ferkel.
And that could cost us the election.
And I think that there are some things they're trying to do. Did this go away? There's some things they're trying to do for inflation, but we cannot forget that the previous administration created over $7 trillion of debt. And digging out of that hole is also contributing to where we are today. I mean, there is the issue. I mean, some of the inflation is global, but we do need talking points on that because people are feeling it. They're feeling it at the gas pump. And even though gas is down a little bit this week, they're still feeling it because the wages haven't kept up. And there's a lot of data about how much Exxon and all the CEOs are making, and they're not paying their workers. Sue.
Yeah, I think the Democrats could do a lot more related to the inflation issue. I mean, why doesn't Biden just bring in all these executives from from Exxon and other places and find out why they're, you know, taking so much profit during the time when, you know, there's.
Well, they're not drilling. They're
They
not.
did that with smoking, why can't they do it with the gas?
Yes.
One of the things that's the problem is the supply issues they keep bringing up all the time. And I don't know if you just heard about the thing that just happened in Texas, how the governor lined up all the trucks for miles and miles, and all the food is rotting on the trucks. You know, the Better O'Rourke was just on TV showing all the, you know, trucks that
Rescinded that?
Yes.
He did rescind it.
But it didn't help. All the food is
They say that fresh produce is going to be a problem here for a little while.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think most of the precincts in Sumter County have a precinct captain. So if you know what your precinct is, you can always call the office. You have a list of all the precinct captains.
Yes.
So. And I know I am one in 104, so I'll link.